Alright, this is going to be a quick video on how I mounted my gimbal to my Cheerson CX-20. The gimbal that I bought off of eBay, it's one of the lower priced ones, they're in the $30 range. The only ones in the lower range were always made for the GoPro mount. And then all the ones that with the Mobius or the Runcam style were all more expensive, but I figured I'd buy the lower cost one and then see how the mounting works, modify it if I had to. The way that it worked out is that it does fit on there on the very bottom here on the mount. You can see right up in here where the camera mount had to come through that slot. I had to file on two sides of the hole there, or the protrusion, and then it went and fit into that slot and then bolts up fine. And actually the way that it works is with the Runcam all the way over to my left as I'm filming here, balances out the gimbal pretty nicely weight wise, because again it's made more for a GoPro. The thing I was worried about mostly is in the back here where you can see where the gimbal passes by, or the camera passes by the gimbal. And there is, it's hard to see on this video, but there's probably about a 1/16 of an inch clearance. But it makes it. I'll show you how it works in a second. But of course, obviously, with the transmitter and the camera and the gimbal wires all in the back, I'm going to have to tuck all of that up in, make it nice and neat. And then what worked for the camera, and I seen online somebody had showed this, how it works. Right there, the upper left-hand plug-in runs the pitch control up into the auxiliary 1 control on my controller. So that's all you need out of the 5 wires that came with it. Now the power wire, I did have to solder a new kind of connection on there because it was a male connector that came with this and I needed female. And I had an extra female connector, so I just cut that off. Now, I have, the dangerous thing here is I have red and black wires. I have them crisscrossed because in order for them, the power cords to connect up in there right alongside of the transmitter power cord, the way that there's actually 2 connectors here. It's usually ground to the outside, so this black one is correct. This one I had to actually reverse and then reverse it down here when I soldered them together. The reason is because in order for these connectors to go back to back up into the Cheerson, they need it to be that way. So I just have to be very careful when I plug in my gimbal that I remember that I have these wires crossed, and actually the ground is on the outside. The ground is going to the ground of the gimbal. It's just that the colors, I have them flip-flopped because of the plug-in. But what I'll do now is I will plug it in. It was working before, and hopefully it'll work now and show you how the gimbal works. All right. Gotta remember to turn that camera on down there too. Now, as you can see over here, I have FPV on my controller, and you're actually seeing that from the Runcam right here. And now, if I go over to my controller, and again, I only hooked up the pitch control because I don't need the roll, because the roll takes care of itself, you know, and I never need to roll that manually. Okay. And that works all by itself. But what I do need is to be able to go up and down with the gimbal. And again, a lot of times on YouTube and stuff like that, I see a lot of the videos, they say this can get really sensitive. I got lucky. I mean, it's sensitive, but it's not like my son. My son has an X380, and he's got to crank the control around a bunch of times just to get it to go all the way up and all the way down. I don't know if that's an advantage or a disadvantage. So anyway, that's where I'm at. And again, I don't know if I mentioned it before, but obviously the reason I have this in between the 2 boxes right now is the camera's hanging too low on the copter or the quad, and I'm going to have to either make new legs here. I have another set of Cheerson legs because these things break. They're crap, and they break all the time. And in order to make it more stable, I seen this online, so I came up with this design. And what I'm gonna have to do is either extend this, or better yet, I'll probably just go with the DJI Phantom extension legs. They make some extension legs, and those are plenty long to house anything you have underneath here. The other thing I had to do up here in the camera mount, the reason I have a mount on a mount, which I really don't like for the weight, but I had to do that because if I would have went with this stock mount right up into the bottom of the Cheerson, it would have covered up right in there where I plug in. So I had to go a mount on top of a mount. Like I said, I don't like that for weight-wise, because weight-wise I'm at 1335 grams, and 13350 is the max weight they say for safe carrying. And you want to, the one thing about these drones, quads, whatever you want to call them, is you want to cut weight wherever you can. That's why I don't even like this leg set up here, and I'll switch over to DJI Phantom, because they're lighter and they're stronger. But you want to cut weight wherever you can, because weight is bad. Weight means decreased flight time. And right now I'm without this gimbal on there, with just the camera and a regular mount and not this, I was probably at 8.5, 9 minutes with stock batteries. I do have a 3000 milliamp Blackmagic now waiting to be used. I haven't been able to use it yet. I think they're supposed to be really good batteries, so we'll see. There, the camera just went off because I wasn't recording, so I'm just going to turn that off, and I'll unplug this in a little bit. But anyway, keep the weight light as you can. I'll post another video, I'm sure, once I get this thing all tucked up into place and working. All right. Hopefully this is helpful for those who want to use a GoPro gimbal and a Runcam video. It does fit. It's tight, but it'll fit.